Welcome to Tales, Tunes, and Tomfoolery starring Jerry Springer, along with Gene Galvin and me. I'm Megan Hills. We're recorded live in front of a brilliant studio audience at the Folk School Coffee Parlor in Ludlow, Kentucky.
My daddy.
Ladies and gentlemen, here he is, Mr. Jerry Springer.
I didn't tell you, but earlier this morning, we're looking for new property.
We are?
Yeah,
What?
no.
You and Mickey are?
Making out, yeah.
Whoa.
Well,
Well,
it
don't
was-
go beyond there. You're looking for new property.
Actually, we did. We went looking. Well, it's a cemetery plot.
Oh, I see.
Wow, that started quick tonight. How about that?
Yeah,
Jumping on
really,
in.
Megan.
It did.
Really,
Oh,
right away.
That is a depressing thing. I mean, there's no joke here. You just sit there and they bring, and they're so polite when they talk to you, and I don't feel it's a.
You really did go look at
this is-
cemetery
actually
plots?
look for
May I ask would be the obvious question? Did some of the places you visited say, "I'm sorry, but we have no room
No
here"?
room for you.
Yeah, they did ask me, "Is it you?"
Yeah, we're talking about you.
Yeah.
Your
well,
wife.
There's a
Oh,
certain
maternity.
neighborhoods in the cemetery I'm not permitted in. But that happened when I was bar mitzvahed. But,
Yeah.
but sorry, it's over here. But no. But it was. But anyway,
She's over here.
it's staggering walking.
Did you buy any?
Yeah.
Okay. Did
Oh,
you-
it's beautiful
Would there be
view.
room for Bonnie and me?
Yeah.
I
it's
am not
beautiful.
doing that.
I told you what I'm going to put on my headstone.
What?
Take care of yourself and each other. I won't be right back.
Yeah,
Aw, that's cute.
that's good.
That's real morbid, though, Chair. I got to tell you.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
know. Can we
that's
change
really.
it? So-
I'm
Yeah,
going
sorry.
with
I
this,
should have told
with
you
a
that I was
cremation
gonna-
anyway.
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah.
taking up any space in any. That's so pretentious to take up space in the earth.
I agree.
You know?
Excuse me, have you not
Pardon me.
seen my resume?
Well, yeah.
Do I get
Yeah.
a little bit of dirt?
A little bit. So,
Yes.
anyway.
So you guys were out of town this weekend with your wives?
Yes,
How? What?
actually, it
You
was
were up
great.
in New York?
Every year on my birthday, it's become kind of a tradition. My gosh, we've been doing this 15, 20 years now.
That's so cool.
We go back to my old neighborhood in Queens, and we literally, poor Gene, I mean, the four of us, we go to the apartment house that I was raised in as a kid. But you have nothing to do with it, because I didn't know you until I was 27 years old.
Yeah.
And you come to this city where you've never,
Don't know
and
anybody?
you look at the same, when we knock on the door.
They have to be so sick of you by now.
Oh, my God.
Well, what happens
I'm
is
the witness.
because, and I always say when they open the door, "Hi, I'm Jerry Springer, and we're not here with the show or anything. It's just that I was raised here, and this was the house I grew up in, and once in a while the people will take me in. But lately, word gets out
so
that
weird.
I visit there every year now.
Yeah.
So now I'll ring the doorbell, and I know they're home. You can hear them, and all of a sudden, shh. And no one says a word. Hello? You ring the doorbell again. I know you're in there. Let me in.
Open up.
And then
we won't go away.
Yeah. And we had some good time. We went to some great shows.
And I got to tell you this, Megan. We're driving. Let's just tell it straight up. This is how it
Sure.
rolls. Jerry has in New York, I guess it's some company you work with, a transportation company, but Roy, who is a great guy,
Great guy.
has been driving for years. And it is may I say, it's a long white limousine.
Yeah,
A
it's
long white limousine.
if you want to talk to him up front,
Yeah.
it's another area code.
It's a different area
It's
code.
long distance. Hello, Roy.
And so this limousine comes into Kew Gardens, which is a neighborhood of Queens, right?
Yes.
And we're driving around, and we went for the first time because I've been going into this neighborhood for years. My mom always used to say, when I was first born, she looked at me and she said to my brothers, he will be easily entertained by just shiny stuff and
There's not
little
much there
simple
we're working
things.
with.
No,
Just
no, it'd
jingle
be
some
very
keys.
easy to entertain him. So I'm like, we going back to Queens, Jerry?
Come on, Jerry, let's go, Jerry.
Let's go to Queens. And I'm an idiot. And so, anyway, we're driving through the neighborhood, and we went to Russell Sage Junior High. That's your
Yes.
old junior high.
Sure. I went to PS 99, Russell Sage Junior High, and Forest Hills High School.
Yeah. And so we looked at the junior high, and then we're going down the street in this little neighborhood, very cool neighborhood, by the way, in Queens. And we see classic New York City basketball court.
Yeah.
Classic.
Gauge
Big fence.
around it,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah,
Gauge
gates around it. We go in and get this. There are like 3 or 4 guys that are our age playing basketball.
No kidding.
Yeah, guys that back in the day, played some basketball, maybe high school, who knows. So we get out of the car.
We roll down the window. Hey!
Yeah. And they're like, who the hell is that? And then he gets out and he walks over and like, that's Jerry Springer. And we played a pickup game. Now, this, and excuse my French, this MF got the limo driver to be on his team, Jerry's
Yeah, he
team.
can
I'm on
play.
the other team. He played in college.
Ah,
Yeah.
there it is. There
He's
it
like
is.
40. He played in college.
He's half your age.
I
and he
played freshman year in basketball.
wait a
in
second.
freshman year of high school, that was it.
My limo driver didn't go to college.
He went to Xavier instead? Is that the
Yeah.
joke? No, don't do that. Don't do
Okay,
that.
don't do that.
Anyway,
No.
so
Yeah.
it was
We played. It was great. It was 10-8.
It was great.
It was great.
fun.
So who won?
His team won. Well, the limo driver.
Who pays your check?
I had no idea that had anything to do with
And
basketball.
it was great because it was like, except for the limo driver, I think everybody probably was 70, maybe somebody
Yeah.
in their 60s.
So what was their reaction when you guys come out and start
Oh,
like?
it was
th-
Well,
great.
they
it
had
was
to-
actually a lot of fun.
We
I mean,
played-
once they got over this
Yeah.
is celebrities. And
It was a fun game. I mean, we played for 20 minutes, a half hour.
How
It
was
yeah.
how was Gene at basketball, Jerry?
Well, there's no question. When we were younger, Gene would be way better than me. Today, we're both crippled.
So no broken
big
bones.
deal.
All hips are in order there. We're
I
all
did
good.
score.
Yay! Good for you.
Not in basketball.
Why do I let myself get set
Yeah,
up for
don't.
that?
Don't
Jeez
do that.
No,
Louise.
I did. I scored a basket. It was so exciting.
Broadway show.
And then we went to
want to talk that show up because that's a hell of a show.
I saw that
people.
Facebook post. That looked cool.
The Bronx Tale.
Yeah.
Oh, well, you remember the movie with Chazz Palminteri back in the late 80s, I guess it was. The great movie with Robert De Niro.
Mm-hmm.
Wonderful movie. And then it became a one-man play. Chazz wrote it, wrote the movie, wrote the book, and he does a one-man show on Broadway. That ended, and now on Broadway, which is the hot new show, it's a musical.
Mm-hmm.
So we went to see it Friday night, and oh, what a great show! And then when we came into the theater, they said after the show, come backstage and meet the cast, and Chazz was there.
That's so cool.
Honestly, it was so much fun. They were so great, and Chazz has a restaurant, an Italian restaurant. So we had reservations. He called ahead, said they're coming down, and we had dinner there. We met the mob. It was great.
The mob.
And the show has a lot of that.
He says, you can have anything to drink. I said, I don't think so. He says, I think you're having something to drink. Okay.
Far be it from me.
And by the way, Megan, and Jerry is like a brother to me. I knew Jerry when we both had nothing, and then he went off to
And you still have.
accomplish
And still have
pretty-
nothing.
basically nothing.
You stay consistent. God bless
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, I'm a man of the people. And but
I hate
Jerry
you.
is really generous. And
Yes,
so
he is.
and he's really rich.
Yes.
As far as I know. I mean, I had never seen his bank account, but he's got a lot of dough. So he, rolls into this limousine, and you go into the theater and you walk in, and there was somebody, I think that theater manager maybe is
Yeah.
who we talked to. He may have known you were coming. Because to be honest, you get the tickets through like a broker or something, and then they
Yeah.
may say, "Hey,
These are
Jerry
for-
Springer will be in the audience." That they may or may not. Who knows?
Or those in that environment,
Yeah.
those people that work the doors,
They know.
they know who's coming, or they recognize who's coming. They're always looking out for that
Yeah.
because it's great publicity for them.
But
Yeah.
wouldn't all of us want to? I'll speak for myself. When you see a good Broadway show, you'd love to go backstage
yeah.
and just talk to these players. You'd
I
love
do it in
to.
Cincinnati for
Doesn't
crying out
happen.
loud. It's
Yeah.
amazing to go backstage.
And so
talk
they
to
came
actors.
up to him, 5 steps inside the door and said, "Hey, you want to go backstage after the show?"
Yeah.
And the answer is yes. We go back there, and we're on the stage with the curtain open, looking out now at an empty theater. And one of the people is a young man named Bobby Conte Thornton.
Mm-hmm.
It's his Broadway debut. He told us this, from San Francisco.
cool.
Probably about 20 years old.
Yeah.
Place to lead.
But they all look at Springer, and it's like, dude, I used to watch your show all the time.
Yeah.
When I was, taking classes or
Yeah.
in college or whatever.
And while they
So-
were in prison.
And, as many wanted their pictures with him
Yeah.
as he wanted pictures with them.
That's incredible.
So Bobby Conte Thornton will be on our podcast.
That's
We'll bring him in over the
His
phone some night.
performance was
he's
really
phenomenal.
Oh, I'm sure.
So if you're in New York, you get a chance to see it, the Bronx Tale. It's wonderful.
Or on tour, because it'll be out
Yeah.
there soon. And maybe the most important development was, Megan, I'm always fine-tuning the business plan for the podcast.
Oh, jeez.
And
And what a business plan it is, Gene. We're rolling in it over here.
Thank you. Thank you. And I appreciate that you're the one that sort of gets it.
Totally. We're there. We're there.
You think we're there? I always am striving. I'm always reaching, trying
Which
to reach
is why
above.
I won't be rich for long.
Right? Thanks to Gene.
We came up with, and I'm giving most of this credit to Jerry Springer. His instincts are amazing. We came up with an addendum to the business plan,
I can't wait to hear
and
this.
it's called the Elevator Comics. Jerry and I are starting a new act where we will, and this is my part, I'm going to book us all across the country, initially in some smaller hotels, maybe 2-3 story high.
Clarion.
Yeah,
Something like that.
little places, with maybe 2 or 3 floors, and we're going to work an elevator.
We
And
get
we're-
on the elevator and we tell our jokes.
We-
So
we
how
do
did
an
this?
act.
So how did this come about on this trip?
This is God's
is.
truth. We were just getting on at the Ritz, a crowded elevator.
15th floor for you, so there's
Yeah.
a lot of floors
So-
to work the act.
So you got a
Work
lot
up
of
the
jokes.
act, you know.
Warm 'em up.
Yeah, you get off at the second floor, you're not going to hear our best jokes. Yeah. Okay.
Might get off at the second floor then.
Well, we just and
I'll walk.
no one thought about this before. We're on a crowded elevator. Gene is in the back corner, and I'm near where the buttons are, or whatever.
And mirrors all over the elevator,
Yeah,
so
and
you can be facing, because elevator etiquette is you stare straight
Everyone's
at that door.
staring at the front door, at the door of the elevator, and the numbers on top, and just watching. It's dead silence. And Gene, as usual, hey, Jerry, what's your wife's favorite wine? And I go, I want to go to Miami. Well,
We hit right away, Megan.
The
Right
way-
away.
But let's be honest, you had your crowd. That was your target audience in the elevator at the Ritz.
they laughed. I mean, the women on the elevator really, and they didn't look at us. They're still looking like this. And out loud, they are really laughing.
Absolutely.
Well, now we know they're laughing.
And that's all you need,
And
dear
then you
Lord.
I
said-
said, hey, I saw you talking to that guy down in the lobby. It
Oh,
looked
the
like
one-
he had an older guy.
The guy with the hearing
What was that
aid?
all about?
Yeah, he's telling me this is the finest hearing aid money can buy. I
Really?
say, yeah, what
Hey,
kind
I-
is it? He said 4 o'clock.
I hate you.
Boom, boom.
They laugh again.
I can't believe you
Laughter.
subject people to this.
Yeah.
Laughter.
These people were just on an elevator.
It was amazing.
Just
One guy from the back yelled, ballroom, and Jerry says, I didn't know I was crowding you. Boom,
Oh.
Hey.
It didn't end. Now people are getting off. Wait, there's more.
7:30 is not the same as the 9. Come back and try the veal.
So we have started this business.
So
We're
we
going to cut a commercial. Where this is on. This is on. Elevator
This is
Comics.
horrible.
You've never heard of elevator comics.
Because
before.
it's not a thing and it never will be.
Well, yeah, they say, well, and Gene asked me, how's it going? I said, well, it has its ups and downs. But it's,
Yes. Hey, Megan.
It's
here's-
all day.
Hey,
It's
Megan, here's the truth.
was so
Here's
great.
the truth. That all happened just like he described
Oh,
it.
I believe
When we
it.
got to the bottom,
exactly like this.
people were getting off, high-fiving us, saying it's very
Applauding.
funny.
Very funny.
So we go to lunch. Our wives are with us and we're doing this, and they're just
Bonnie
shaking
wanted
their
you
heads.
dead.
Shake it.
No.
This is-
So we go to lunch and we figure out our whole act because that was just sort of the pilot. We go back, we do it again, Megan, and like we had some staff from the Ritz Carlton on the elevator with us, like management
yeah.
people.
Oh,
and they're laughing, but it's forced laughter. Yeah, really. They're polite because he's
My timing was off.
yeah. at the time. So anyway, that is coming.
Wow.
Elevator.
Wait with breath that is bated.
It's great. Elevator comics. No
I'm
one else
picturing
does
the
it.
doors open in the back corner. You see Jerry. In fact, this was Jerry's idea. The doors close and the lights go out and a little spotlight pops on Jerry in the back corner. One hand, he's got a drink.
Yep.
Dean Martin kind of deal.
Sure.
Other hand, a cigarette.
Yep.
Got a mic stand between his legs. And he's like,
And get the brick wall behind him.
guy
so he
would
just
do a
got-
little comedy club brick wall in the
Yeah.
back.
But it needs, you were the perfect straight man. You ask a question, we got to come right back.
Yeah.
That's it.
No.
Wait for it.
So this is it, huh?
Oh, it's on.
This is your millions.
Oh, we're
Mr.
definitely
Galvin.
doing it. And here's what we can
We'll call
do.
all the Howard Johnsons and let them know.
We can
I just
say
got to
in
call
the
one
ad,
person. You know?
Yeah. Catch them. They've been at the Beverly Wilshire in L.A.,
Yeah.
in Beverly Hills, the Ritz-Carlton in New York. Mention all these hotels. Little do people know it's the elevators.
Yeah, right.
So it's not like we need
It's
a
like
big
doing
room.
your comedy act next to the salad bar.
And you see, word gets out and everyone starts taking the stairs.
Yep. I'll tell you what.
You're in a 91-story building.
I will
I'm
walk.
walking. I can't take
Elevator's just sitting there. You know?
Yeah.
And
No
Jerry,
one gets
Jerry
out.
doesn't even smoke
Hello,
or drink.
this
So.
way. I'm holding the door. That's all right.
It's got, we got it.
Or
Or it would go like
with
this.
a walker.
They got their luggage. Are those guys on the elevator? No, they're not here this week. Okay.
Go.
Push the button. Let's go.
Quick, he's coming. Close the door.
You're the only one here that has a serious job.
I do have a serious
Because
job.
you're an HR manager for
Yes.
a regional corporation
Yep.
of substance. Mm-hmm. And you were telling us the other night at dinner that there's a thing that we had never heard of as we were job chasing in our young lives, where as an HR manager, you actually put on parties for applicants. What the hell is that?
We recruit like crazy, and it's just the way it is now. Honestly, these kids are getting out of college, and they have jobs lined up before they graduate, and we have to woo them. I mean, we have to start. We start relationships with these kids at any universities that we've established. Is they have the talent that we need, they have the skill sets that we need. So we're going in there, and we're not alone, and we are recruiting like crazy. So we will go to. Well, I wasn't here a couple weeks ago. I was at a career fair in Georgia. So I went to the UGA career fair. We met, 20, 30, 40 kids that we really liked. Out of that, we bought 15 of them back, and we take them out to dinner, or we have a happy hour for them, whatever. And we tell them about our company. We tell them what we have to offer, why we're competitive, all those types of things. But it's an ongoing relationship, and that's where recruiting has changed. When I was in school, career fairs were something that you just kind of, you went to them if you were in the business school. You went to them there, every now and again. They are massive events. The money that's being thrown into this stuff is insane. And it's just speaking to where what the expectations of these graduates are. So it's a whole different world now.
Wow.
It's the fun part of the job. The recruiting is a great part. And the parties are fun. But
Are there, I think of college basketball recruiting. You'd say the same thing about college football, where there's not only all that. Look, down in Louisville, there's an accusation that an assistant coach was doing that and bringing in call girls as well.
yeah, we don't do that.
No, I know.
We give them
Jones Moving.
What's
At Jones Moving, we do not do that.
whoa. What school is that?
We give them a drink ticket and like an egg roll.
I can get another degree.
I could use one more college.
One more degree on
Yeah, it
there.
wouldn't hurt.
But
How about signing bonuses? Because you hear that in football, basketball, college. Signing bonuses?
We have restructured benefits packages. We've done everything in order to make that. You need to make it a fun, exciting
So
experience.
much more competitive nowadays.
It is. And literally, these guys are coming out, we've got University of Cincinnati and things around here. These kids are in their freshman year lining up what their co-ops are going to be throughout the year. They have to do 3, some schools require 2, 3, 4 co-ops throughout their tenure.
Which is smart, right?
Which is very smart. It gives them a ton of exposure. But that means that we have to start literally when they are 17, like right out of school. It's so bad, not so bad, but it's so different now. We're actually looking at the high school level. We need to speak, because we want to, any company wants to be
get
top of mind.
relationships going.
And it's the relationship building. They want to know that it's safe and they feel comfortable and they feel
Yeah,
loved.
one last question. What culture and what environment are they looking for that you're careful to make sure they know you have that will lure them? What do young people want
That's a
in a
great
work
question.
setting?
And that's what all of us are trying to figure out,
Okay.
honestly. So right now, what's really hot and what we talk about a lot is like the flex hours. Nobody wants to be 9 to 5, 8 to 5 in an office anymore. You want to have the flexibility to work from home or commute, however that works for them. Oftentimes the culture, they want a more open culture, physically even more open, like getting away from the boardrooms and the offices and what you think of kind of like stuffy corporate America. They're sick of it. It's not, it doesn't doesn't work for them.
You should
So
come to our show. It's not stuffy.
we're
or
not
corporate
stuffy.
America.
We have a business plan, but we're not stuffy.
When I went before you for an interview for this job on the
Right.
Jerry Springer podcast,
Which, by the way, you were not recommended for.
Hey,
Just so that we
but
know.
nonetheless, I got it. Well, that's fair. But I remember I was asking for 4 months of personal leave.
Yeah,
Is
yeah.
that out of whack? Is that
Well, that's
a lot?
actually another piece. Like, honestly, the expectation when I graduated was maybe 2 weeks, maybe. 4 weeks is kind of more standard now, and a lot of the younger folks won't talk to us for under. If you're not offering the 4 weeks, that's
Really?
It's
But
the work-life
first
balance.
job, 4
Abs-
weeks of I can be off for vacation, sick,
Huh?
whatever.
They want work-life balance. That is like the number one piece that they're interested in. And I'm of course lumping them all together. There's always, but just in general as a trend, it's just so different. But it's interesting to see how companies are adjusting to it, because some of these things, in my own opinion, I think should have changed a long time ago. I think it's great to have a more open concept. I think it's fantastic. They're asking questions like, what percentage of your leadership is women and minority? What percentage of this? Like, they're asking wonderful questions,
yeah.
and they want to be in those up and coming companies. So
That's
it's
interesting.
Neat. It's very cool. It's the best part of my job.
Jerry, first month of Trump's term, what do you think?
Can we redo it?
Can we wake up? Is it still happening?
Yeah, the first month, admittedly, it's been a total disaster. But even if you voted for him, even if you liked him, even if you liked some of the things he said in the campaign, it's pretty hard to look at this first month and say, wow, there is a successful presidency. It seems like total chaos. I mean, everything he said he was going to do is turning out to be not exactly like he said he would do it. I mean, starting with the wall. Now we find out it could be $21 billion. Oh, we didn't know that. Oh, we'll get Mexico to pay for it. Well, Mexico says, no, they're not going to pay for it. Obamacare, we'll get rid of it on day one. Well, now all of a sudden they're realizing they don't want to take health insurance away from people and make it affordable. Yikes, they don't have a replacement plan that doesn't involve huge hike in taxes. So all of a sudden, that's stalled. He has the lowest approval ratings of any president ever. The immigration ban was the most obvious fiasco. First of all, it created havoc in people's lives, and it also shamed America in the eyes of the world. So it's been a horrible first month. And the word that would be used by the pundit seems to be the White House is in total chaos. I would like to suggest a possible alternative, that it may not be chaos. There may, in fact, be a method to this madness. And the method, the architect of this method is Steve Bannon and some of the people around him. Stay with me on this just for a few minutes, because the more I thought, and we talked a little bit about it over the weekend, the more I put all this together, because this guy Bannon is incredibly bright, okay? So we may hate what he's espousing, but let's not be fooled into think that this guy is some idiot. He's very bright, but he is an ideologue. He has a belief, a world view that is pretty extreme, but he lives his life for it. And he believes, and this is not us interpreting, this is his own words, over the past several years, before he was in government, when he gives speeches, when he was head of Breitbart News, when he does interviews, he believes the apocalypse is coming. He believes we are going to have a world war, Christians against Muslims. He's Islamophobia defined. And he believes that the Muslims want to take over the world, and we have to do away with them. Purge the country of multiculturalism. He believes the only way to win this war against Islam is to become nationalist. That, in a sense, America would be white and Christian, and everything else only weakens us, makes us multicultural, which shows a weakness towards fighting Muslims. So That has to change. He is a nationalist. And if along the way various groups join him for their own motives of being a nationalist, like white supremacist or something, even if he isn't, they do nothing to push them away. Any group that is willing to buy into this fact that we need to do away with multiculturalism in America, we need to prepare for the war against Islam, this is what the man believes. Now, this is not me being an extremist talking about it. This, he admits his own words. You can get the tapes of the conversations, Google it, of the interviews. So, where does Trump fit in? Steve Bannon and the people around him that believe in this ideology that we're going to have a world war against Islam, he has been looking for some vehicle to get to a seat of power where his views can be put into being, put into place. And in fact, one of the first people that got his attention was Sarah Palin. And he, in fact, did a documentary on Sarah Palin, which was kind of complimentary to her from his point of view, because he thought she would be the vehicle. You see, they are looking for, in a sense, an empty vessel, someone who has no political ideology, someone who just never even thought about it, and then they can feed that person this ideology and attract this person because this person is going to want, whether it's a narcissist, someone who wants the attention, someone who wants to be in the spotlight. So Sarah Palin was the first person that came to mind when she self-destructed. Then he's looking for which campaigns to get a hold of, and he sees the Trump campaign, the perfect example of an empty vessel. And I'm not saying this to try to pick on Trump. I'm saying he never had a political ideology. If the Democrats had come to him 3 years ago, he would have been a Democrat. He will say whatever will make him the star. Okay, that's his personality. Bannon gets hold of him. And think about it. First, he works his way into the campaign. Next, he works himself into becoming campaign manager. Then they get elected. He works himself to becoming the chief advisor. Then, the most scary of all, he works it out that he is now on the National Security Council, and the head of the Joint Chiefs of Staff and the head of Homeland Security are kicked off in terms of being permanent members. He is putting himself in a position of incredible military power to prepare America for this coming world war, in his mind, of Christians versus Muslims. Every policy that they're doing, or let's say the immigration policy, moves in that direction, even though they never use those exact words. Now, that's the goal. And that, by the way, is one of the reasons this love affair with Putin. Why do they have a love affair with Putin? It's not complicated. Putin is also a nationalist. And Bannon, in seeing what would be necessary in this world war, wants Russia as an ally against Muslims. And Russia, from its part, even though it may never have thought about this issue, if the price of joining America, because he's a nationalist, Putin, everything about Russia, he wants America to pull back from support of NATO so he can expand. That's Russia's goal throughout its history, well before communism. It always wanted to expand out to the sea, expand through Europe. So if he can get America to pull back from its support of NATO, to become isolationist, to concentrate only on what's going on in America, then he has freedom to do what he wants in Russia. That's what he gets from Trump, that America will leave Russia alone. And what Trump gets from, or what Bannon gets from Putin, is that there will be an ally in what he sees the apocalypse, the final war against Islam. That's why they're having all this going on. It isn't about, gee, I wonder if they have a tape of him doing what with whom. It's way bigger than that. Now, What's the strategy? That's the goal. Remember, the goal is, in Bannon's view, we have a war coming up with Muslims, with Islam. The primary goal now is they need 8 years, because whatever they could accomplish in 4 years, if Trump is defeated for re-election, then anything they would have done will be taken away immediately, because it means Trump was rejected and everything he would have done would be lost. So they know if they're going to get their way, the Bannon people, they need 8 years. They need to be reelected. Everything Trump is doing now is towards reelection. So you say, wait a second. All he's doing is appealing to his base, that 40%. It seems, at first, you look and say, is this guy crazy? All he's doing is becoming totally extreme. He goes down to whether it's Alabama, Trump country in Florida, wherever it is, he's just doing everything for his base, doing nothing to try to broaden the base. Is this a strategy to get reelected? Well, actually, it is. And here's why. If Trump, for the next 2 years, can spend time on doing everything for the base, give the base everything it wants, the Supreme Court, anti-immigration, guns, abortion, whatever it is, give the right wing everything it wants, the white supremacists, everything. Because what he's doing is he is protecting himself from a challenge in Republican primaries on the right. There will be no Tea Party running against Trump in 2020. No Republican can run against him from the right. Those people will go to the mat for him. They love him now. He did what he said he'd do for the right. He's got that 40%. But you can't win an election with 40%. Where does the other 10% come from? He's doing two things to get that final 10%. He delegitimizes, or is attempting to, the only two institutions left in America that could stop him. Congress won't stop him, and the Senate won't stop him, basically. You know, they're the same party. The only two institutions are, one, the courts. So he does everything he can to delegitimize the courts, that so-called judge. Even more important, remember, because that'll be a commercial. God forbid there is some event in the next 4 years, some terrorist event. You can see the commercial now where he said, it's the court's fault on their ruling on the immigration ban. If there is a terrorist act, blame it on the courts. I told you so. Now, we know, having lived through 9/11, that after that kind of an attack, the whole country comes together, and no one wants to argue. So it is no stretch of the imagination to believe that if there was such an attack, at least that 10% would come from the middle-of-the-road voter that says, by God, we need to be tough. I don't want to hear about, how we have to all work together. There'll be a rah-rah. It happens after every kind of event like that, the patriotism, whatever. And so he's protected himself by letting people know it's the court's fault. The second institution that could stop him, it's the press, the free press. If he keeps calling it fake news, if he just has an all-out assault on free press in America saying it's fake news, it's fake news, it's fake news, he has basically protected himself against any scandal that is uncovered. Because whatever is uncovered now, he can say, it's fake news. You can't believe it. And enough people start to question what the news is doing that he can pick up. Remember, he only has to pick up that 10%. He doesn't have to win the majority of the others. Just a tiny piece of it that gets him up to 50%. That is the strategy of Bannon and company, and that's what's behind Donald Trump.
Oh, that's good.
Now for the elevator jokes.
No.
Hey, we're asking Lee Rolfus to come in. In fact, he's come in. He's getting set up. And let me tell you a few things about our musical guest tonight. Lee has roots in Cincinnati, and we're going to chat with him in a minute after he does a song. But I think he's been living some other places, but he started in Cincinnati. And after his first song, we're going to talk about Jerry's dirty past around here that crossed with Lee's, well, in the music world. In the music world.
To be clear.
To be clear.
To be clear.
Hey, Lee, do a song
Testing,
for us.
1 2 1 2.
Lee Rolfes.
All right, here's one for the big man up there on 75. Played a late show up in the Buckeye State, driving back home and the hour is late. Fooling with the knob on my radio, and just up ahead I can see the glow of the 40-foot Jesus on the interstate, guiding me home when the hour is late. I know I don't have much further to go, but when I see my 40-foot Jesus on the side of the road, 40-foot Jesus on the side of the road, yeah. Now he was born in a manger long time ago. It was cold, so they wrapped him up in swaddling clothes. Who'd have thought that baby would grow up to be a 40-foot Jesus watching over me? 40-foot Jesus on the interstate, guiding me home when the hour is late. I know I don't have much further to go, but when I see my 40-foot Jesus on the side of the road, 40-foot Jesus on the side of the road, Now there's people in this country running around scared. The ghost of 9/11's hiding everywhere. Shake 'em up enough, it's easy to deceive. I think a 40-foot Jesus is what we all need. A 40-foot Jesus on the interstate, guiding us home when the hour is late. I know I don't have much further to go, when I see my 40-foot Jesus on the side of the road, 40-foot Jesus on the side of the road, 40-foot Jesus on the side of the road, 40-foot Jesus on the side of the road. Whoa.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's Lee Rolfes. And by the way, I-75 runs from the top of America down to the tip, Florida in the south, and up, I guess, Michigan up in the north.
I've been on most of it.
Lee's been on most of it. And as you go through the Cincinnati area, there's a 40-foot statue in front of a church of Jesus.
We call it Big Butter Jesus. And then
There it is. And
Well, the
that's-
original one was struck by lightning,
yes,
right?
it was.
Which was kind of crazy.
Yeah. So anyway, that's what that song refers to. By the way, you can hear Lee on his website, and I'm going to spell it for you. It's Lee, L-E-E, and then Rolfes is R-O-L-F-E-S. So LeeRolfes.com. He's also on Facebook. Latest album, A Far Cry from Your Troubles. And you performed back in the day in Cincinnati at a place in Mount Adams, which is a great little hipster community, place called the Blind Lemon.
Yeah,
one
love that
of my favorite bars in town. I think
Yeah.
it's a real cozy, beautiful place to have a gig for sure.
Yeah. It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a young Jerry Springer would come in after doing the news, maybe, and
Yeah, a certain news anchor from back in the day.
I do remember that.
Yeah.
But I only knew 2 songs.
yeah.
Always
What'd
had-
you do, Jerry?
Bobby McGee.
Yeah.
And Bobby McGee.
And another version
I did
of
it twice, yeah.
I thought I recalled Blowing in the Wind.
Oh,
Oh,
God, yes.
Oh,
I
Well,
forgot
Jerry,
about that
great.
stupid
Jerry,
song.
do just a
Stupid
couple.
song. You want to step outside?
You don't understand. We heard it every day for 2 years from you.
What from on Springer on the radio on Air
I forgot
America?
we played it on the.
Yeah.
We sure did.
Well, do just a couple licks, and maybe Lee would accompany you with Bobby McGee. A little bit of Bobby McGee.
Indeed.
Busted flat in Baton Rouge. There you go.
Waiting for a train. Well, I'm feeling nearly faded as my jeans. Bobby thumbed the diesel down while waiting for the train that took us all the way to New Orleans.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I pulled my harpoon out of my dirty red bandana, eyes are blowing soft while Bobby sang the blues. When them windshield whoppers slap in time, Bobby's clapping hands in time. We sang us every song that driver knew. Freedom's just another word for nothing left to lose. Nothing ain't worth nothing, but it's free. And feeling good was easy, Lord, when Bobby sang the blues. Feeling good was good enough for me. Good enough for me and my Bobby Lee. And now I'll do it again.
You'll do the other version of it. Well, the other version you would do with a...
So I remember when you would ask to sit in and do a couple songs, I would always ask if I could come do a couple stories the next night.
Well, we had you on the show. I know that.
You said Normer would not like
Normer.
Normer.
Yes,
Normer.
God love her. Yep.
And then the second song you did was Bobby McGee in a British accent.
Oh, yes, you know. Actually, there was a wonderful documentary on just last week I saw on Janis Joplin. Speaking of Bobby McGee, do you see it? Oh, it was great. If you get a chance to see it, it was on PBS or whatever the educational channel is in your town. And look it up. It's worth seeing. It's great. I mean, I
love their work.
It's a story of that era, and this great talent she was, who sadly passed away. I guess it's 27.
27, yeah, that's that whole group.
Drugs.
All right, Lee Rolfus, you do have a second song called Staring at the Floor, correct?
Yeah, this is a brand new one. Just came out. Wrote it about 2 weeks ago.
Your album's A Far Cry from Your Troubles.
Yeah, I've got a new album, Far Cry from Your Troubles. There's bluegrass stuff on there, all kind of stuff. Great players.
Nice. People can get your merch and that record on...
it's on iTunes.
Okay.
You can, whatever sites where you can steal stuff now.
Yeah. All right.
Go steal it.
Go steal it. Staring at the Floor.
So
Lee
anyway,
Rolfus.
this song is thinking about everything, and I think part of the issue is with all the technology and the phones and all that stuff, there's become a disconnect with folks, and I think that's part of the problem. So that's what I'm trying to address with this song is that. So put your phones away during this one. Is it me, or does it seem it used to be that people used to be a little kinder to each other? Somehow, I'm not sure when, but something changed. Now everything feels kinda strange. It's like we don't know one another. Take a little time today and look at the world outside your door and pray it didn't slip away while you were staring at the floor. Don't you remember the way it used to be? All the fun we had, laughing with each other. Warm nights underneath the stars, drinking cheap beer, and lost in conversation. Won't you take a little time today and look at the world outside your door? Pray it didn't slip away while you were staring at the floor. Man, I swear the way we're living might as well dig a hole in the ground. and everybody just jump on in it. Spend the rest of our lifetimes looking down. Now is it me, or does it seem it used to be that people used to be a little kinder to each other? Somehow, I'm not sure when, but something changed. Now everything feels kinda strange. It's like we don't know one another. So take a little time today and look at the world outside your door and pray it didn't slip away while you were staring at the floor. Yeah.
That's Lee Rolfes. You can hear his music at leerolfes.com, LeeRolfes.com, or catch him on Facebook. Casey Campbell sliding in too. Let's hear it for Casey, our music coordinator, here on the Jerry Springer podcast.
Look at that.
And Lee and Casey are going to take us out on that old spiritual song, Down by the Riverside, because we really are right on the bank of the Ohio River here in Ludlow, Kentucky. Down by the Riverside.
Gonna lay down my heavy load down by the riverside, down by the riverside, down by the riverside. Gonna lay down my heavy load down by the riverside. Ain't gonna study war no more.
You've been listening to Tales, Tunes, and Tomfoolery, recorded live at the Folk School Coffee Parlor in Ludlow, Kentucky. Thanks to Patrick Kennedy for writing our opening song, and to you for listening. Check out our website at jerryspringer.com.
Ain't gonna study war no more.
Jerry Springer. Gonna lay down my sword and shield
Down by the riverside,
down by the riverside. I said,
down by the riverside,
gonna lay down my sword and shield
down by the riverside,
down by